Creo midterm exam. In this exam, basically what we're going to go through and review in this video are all the steps that are involved in creating and completing the exam. First, you're going to model a bottle, and it's in this Word document that you'll actually find in the sample files, midterm, and then it's a Word document. And this is the bottle you can see here that we're going to model. It's just going to be 2.5 high by 2 inches in diameter. It's a cylinder, and then another little cylinder gets placed on top. It's 1/2 inch thick and 1.5 inch for the neck. We're going to put some rounds on, about 0.1 on all these edges, and then we're going to shell it out and take care of it from there. The next part of this exam is you're going to model the cap, and there's some details on here, such as we're going to see how to put the circular pattern in, and then you'll put together this drawing that we see here on the last page, and you have to try and recreate this drawing as close as possible to this. Okay, so let's go through that. Okay, I'm going to start with a new part file, and I'm going to call this the bottle. In this case, most of the time in these exercises, I always have you sketch on the front. In this case, I would suggest starting on the top plane and draw your circle right at the origin and dimension that at 2 inches. Now you could go hit the OK button, extrude, and extrude that 2.5 inches high. Now select this surface on the top and start a sketch. And draw another circle, and that'll be 1.5 inches. And then hit OK, and that gets extruded. In this case, it's going to be extruded 1/2 inch high. Now that that's complete, let's go to the round tool, and the rounds are going to be 0.1, and it's going to be on these 3 edges. Don't put one on the top edge, whatever you do. And at this point, let me just turn some of these things off so we can see a little bit easier, is we want to go ahead and shell it out. And up until now, we really haven't had an exercise that officially used this shell. I might have showed it a couple times, but let's go to the shell command. It's right up here. Click on shell, and you specify the wall thickness. So in this case, it's going to be 0.1. And then make sure you select the face that needs to be opened. If you fail to select this face and try and add another shell, what you'll find is that it's already shelled out in the center and it will error out. So you have one of two things to do. You could delete the shell that's in the feature tree and start over again with putting a new shell in, or just right click on the shell one and edit definition and then select the top base to remove. So we just have to select the top base to make sure we remove that first, and then hit the green check mark. Okay, now that's worth 50 points. Let's start the next part, which is the cap. Okay, for the cap, we're going to start just like the other one on top plane and start a sketch. And the cap is a 1.9 inch diameter, so draw that out, 1.9. And then that gets extruded, so you have to hit OK, go to extrude. It gets extruded 0.1 high. While you're still in this view, make sure if you want, just click on standard orientation or default orientation if you've rotated it. You want to identify the top right away so you don't build it upside down. So go to the rounds tool then and make sure it's set to 0.1 and click on this top edge. This will help you identify and also save you 10 points in the event that you forget to put that round on the top, but it'll help you identify what's the top and bottom easier. Now we could select this underside face and start a sketch. And the next diameter here is going to be 1.9 off the center. Or I'm sorry, 1.8, not 1.9, 1.8. So it's a little bit smaller. Hit OK. Go to extrude, and it gets extruded 0.5. Do not try and draw in the center circle, 1.5, until it's extruded. It cannot be in the same sketch because they're different thicknesses. So now you can select that bottom surface, start a new sketch, and go to the circle tool and draw on the 1.5-inch diameter. And hit OK. Extrude. Flip the arrow here by clicking on it, and it's only going to go 0.4 deep. And make sure you select Remove Material and hit Apply. At this point, you're just looking to put in the ribs, and this is where many students stop because they can't remember how to put the circular pattern in. Remember, this is only worth 50 points, this one part, and that is only 20 points of the 50. So if you can't remember how to put the circular pattern in, move on to the assembly. You still could finish it even though you don't have the ribs on it. So don't stop at that point. Go to Sketch and select this backside face. And now we're going to go to the AB and go to Bottom. And now take the Circle tool and align it on this edge. Now you'll see that it's kind of challenging. You can't really lock it into that. So I'm going to middle click a couple times to get out of it. This is where we could use our References tool. If you click on References, you can now select the edges on the top and bottom circle. Hit Close, and now try and put your circle in. You should be able to snap to that quadrant there, and then snap this and get a little T that's to the left of the pointer. The T indicates tangency. This way, you don't have to put the dimension in later. If you didn't get the T, then you'd have to go to normal and put in the dimension of 1 inch, or I'm sorry, 0.1. All right, actually, you wouldn't have to put that in. It would come in up automatically. But regardless, next part is we're going to hit OK, go to Extrude, flip the arrow, and instead of putting in 0.5, you could just put it up to the next surface. You could select that and hit the green check mark. Now we can pattern this. But before we pattern, let's go ahead and go and turn on your axis display and select the Extrude 4 from the feature tree. Or you could click on the surface here, either one. Go to Pattern, and instead of Dimension, hit the little arrow to the right of it and find Axis. Make sure you select the axis in the center. Remember, if that's not there, you could go up here and turn it on Axis Display. Now we need 50 instances, and so we need to have them split up around the outer perimeter. So you could type in 360 divided by 50 and hit Enter. It'll give you the 7.2. Go ahead and hit the green check mark to apply. And now you could go back and turn off the axis display if you don't want to see that. And that's worth 50 points. Move on to the assembly next. Click on New, Assembly. I'm going to call it the med underscore bottle. Hit OK. Just need to resize this for the video. Okay, and at this point we go to Assemble. And if you're looking for your parts, go to In Session unless you saved them already. But if you go to In Session, it will find them both there. We have the bottle, which we want to bring in first, so hit Open. And in this case, your best bet is to click on, instead of Automatic, go to Default and hit the green check mark. Now go back to Assemble, In Session, Cap, hit Open. And my recommendation is you bring this up. Just drag it up with the manipulator handle. And if it zooms out of view, go back to standard view orientation. Oops. Or we could do fit to screen. Okay, now what we're going to do with this is we're going to align this cylindrical face concentric to this face. And then finally, click on this face and go back to the standard view orientation. And you want to mate that underside face to this face. You're going to set it to coincident and hit the green check mark to apply. Alright, at this point, what we want to do is we want to explode this. So you'll find Explode View up here, right next to that little sphere. Go ahead and click on Explode View, and we'll automatically explode it for us in this case. There is a way to manually explode as well. but this is good enough for right now. We'll learn that in the advanced class. So once it's exploded, you could go ahead and click on Explode View again, and we'll unexplode the view. That's now you've just earned 100 points on that. Let's now create the drawing. So go to New, Drawing, and just call it the med_bottle, and empty with format, browse, and select the A format, and hit OK. Now at this point, we're going to go ahead and insert the model view. So you could go to General, just hit OK, left click where you want to drop this view, and we're going to go with the front view here. And just hit OK. Oh, actually, yes, we can hit OK at that point. Now if you want down here to change the scale, you can click on Scale. Actually, if you double click, it comes up here. Let's change that to 0.75. Make it a little bit larger. Okay. We could also go up to the View bar and under Display Style, click on No Hidden. And then if you zoom out, it will refresh the screen. Okay, at this point, let's go ahead and we're gonna. Okay, at this point, let's go ahead and I want you to over here click on the layout and then double click on the view. If you get this little message, just hit the little red X, little X in the upper right corner. Double click on it again, and under View Display, under Tangent Edge Display Style, go ahead and turn on Phantom. Hit Apply and close. This will help it look a little bit better. It puts little dashed lines in there. Okay, we're going to unfold additional views here. So let's, if you want to drag this, turn off Lock View Movement. And now you could drag it around. Now we want a bottom view. So for that, we could go to Projection, drag off the bottom view. And then we're going to go ahead and drag off the section view here. So what we can do is we could click on this view, go to Projection, drag it off to the right, and click. And then just double, actually before you double click on that, go up here to the Datum Display Filters, turn on Plain CSYS, and then zoom in and out again. Now you could double click on this view. And what we want to do is create a section view. Go to Sections, 2D Cross Section, hit plus, and over here on the Menu Manager, you'll get some options. Create cross-section view. Go ahead and just hit Done. Now there's two ways you could do this. You could actually do this from the actual assembly and create a section view and just call it up, or in this case we're doing it right inside the drawing. So at this point we have to give it a name, and since this is our first one, we'll call it A up here at the top and hit the green check mark. Now the menu manager is asking us to select the plane, so don't click on anything here. Just move your pointer over here to where it says Assembly Front, or Assembly Right, I'm sorry. Click on Assembly Right. You'll get a little green check mark, hit Apply, and then close. And now you can turn off the plane display. Zoom out. And there's your section. Move this over here. Okay, now a detail view. Let's zoom up to this region, go to Detail, click right on this little line here, and starting at the 12 o'clock, go backwards, counterclockwise, to 9, 6, 3, and then when you're about at 3 o'clock, middle click, move your pointer to the right and click to drop the detail view. And then center the text. Make sure nothing should be overlapping at all. Okay, we're going to insert another drawing view, so go to General View, hit OK, left click right here, and you see it's bringing up an isometric view. That's good, that's what we want. Make sure isometric is selected. And then if you go to View States, check on Exploded Components in View, hit Apply, and then hit Close. Alright, we're going to go ahead and add some balloons to this for the notes. So click on that view and go to Annotate. Actually, it's under Table. and we're first going to add the table. So we're going to go ahead and click on Table from File, and where you want to find this table will be in your flash drive, or you could go to the W Drive CAD classes, Sakura, Proe Creo, CAD 105. And inside the CAD 105 folder, find it here, find sample files, and then find the midterm or the final, either one. They have the same table. Oops. In this case, not finding the. Okay, in this case, I had to go back to the sample files. Apparently, I didn't have it in the midterm, so just go to the final folder, and you'll find BOM table, and hit open. Okay, unfortunately I can't do it here because I don't have the right version to apply that, but at school you should be able to go ahead and retrieve that, and it will bring up the file for our bill of materials, and then it would just drop in the lower left hand corner. So at this point, if I want to put a table in here, you could go over here to the table tool, and you just select how many cells. So you figure we're going to have a quantity of 2 plus the title cell at the top, so that's 3 cells, and then we're going to have quantity, part name, and then quantity. Actually, part number, part name, and quantity. So there's a total of 3 cells, 3 and 3. So click on that, and then just click up here to drop it. And now you can just double click in each cell, and this number, and this one is going to be part number. Okay, double click in this cell, and this is going to be the name, and then QTY for quantity. If we want, we could actually change this to part name. Okay, if you ever need to adjust these cells, you can just double click in the cells, actually right click, and it will give you options to actually expand the cell. But the next one here is just going to be, we're going to go ahead and type in 1 and 2. Part name, the first one is going to be the bottle. The next one's going to be the cap. And then there's a quantity of 1 of each. So just double click in here and hit OK. Okay, for the balloons then, since we're adding them in manually, click on the annotations button there, and you'll find balloon note. Go ahead and select that. And over on the right you have the manager. And we do want with the leader, and just leave the rest of them as default. Hit make note, and click on the edge. And over here you get an option, hit OK. And then middle click where you want to drop it, and type in this case, this is for the cap, which is part number 2. Type in 2 and hit the green check mark. Hit it 2 times. And then the menu manager that's up in the upper right here, we could go ahead and do the same thing. Make note, select this edge here, middle click, and that will be part 1. Hit the green check mark 2 times, and then hit done and return on the menu manager. Now you can click on these notes and just drag them and relocate them. Now you're welcome to use the actual bill of materials that's automated if, at school. Unfortunately, I'm not able to use it here on my home computer that I'm recording this on. But let's go ahead and finish this off with a note. And you click on the note tool, and then you hit make note. Click right in this cell here where you want to drop your note, and then proceed to type in your name. Hit the green check mark 2 times, and hit done and return. Okay, an additional thing I'd like to do here is put a center mark on this view. Go ahead and go to Show Annotations and select from the Show Annotations option this little Datum tab, and then click on this view, and it will show the center mark. just click on the center mark itself to activate it, or hit this green check mark and hit apply. And then you can hit cancel to close out of it. At this point, we're ready to print. So to print this out, go to File, Print, and let's hit Print Settings / Preview. Just make sure it looks good, and go ahead and hit Print. And select the default printer, which will be the LJ5200 ATC208. Hit OK. And that should be it. Turn it in. That ends midterm.